Over the last three episodes, we have built agent that can use tools. We gave them the weather tools, calculated tool, and same we can give the database tool. But everything worked. But there is a problem. Every single tool we use, we build ourselves. We wrote the Python function, we wrote the schema, we wrote the dispatch logic. Now imagine doing this for GitHub, Slack, Salesforce, Jira, Snowflake, SAP, thousands of tools. At some point, you stop building AI and start building integrations. And that exactly the problem MCP solves. Hey everyone, I'm welcome back to the series. I'm Nitin Kumar, and in this series, we are building AI agents from scratch, first understanding the logic and concept, and then we are coding it. Today, we are going to answer a question every serious AI engineer eventually asks: How do agents use thousands of tools without us writing thousands of integration? The answer is MCP, Model Context Protocol. So let's understand how. So remember when you have when every device had a different sort of a cable, like phone has a different cable, camera has a different cable, laptop has a different headphone, and everything has a different. Then Type C, USB-C arrived. One standard, everything worked, and now nobody buying a phone are today ask, okay, which cable does it use, or which cable do I need to buy, type B, type C, or any sort of different cable, because that's the standard, and they become more of a invisible, and everyone think take it a by granted or set up a standard. MC is trying to do the same thing for AI tools, sort of a, okay, the pain. Uh, we we know, okay, we have this our agent need to sort of access databases, calendars, Slack, and lot of tools, and maybe tomorrow we will have the more thousand tools. How much sort of a tools we are going to write, and how much sort of we are going to do write the schema and integration? It will be sort of a painful thing. But can we use MCP just to do this thing? Now let's see the code. So I will not show the exact code, but understand what how we are doing it. So for our previous episode, we took this sort of a one tool that we defined is like get weather, and that's how we define our schema for our tool. Very simple. That's how we are doing it. And then we were writing our function table mapping, that where we have decided this function, and then how we are doing it. This is for one function. Now imagine you want 30 tools. So you need to define all these 30 functions, 30 schemas, and 30 tables, and every time for every tool. And now become let's think about 1,000. How much? Like if you want to add one tool, it will be so painful, and it will become a sort of a nightmare. So you at one point of time you start, instead of building the tool, as I mentioned, you will start thinking about how to get into how to integrate. So now every if you see when I say the MCP is trying to become a standard, why I'm saying it? Because now every company is rebuilding the same integration, and that is sort of a advantage of MCP. That's how I'm saying it. So that's how the advantage of MCP. So and what is MCP? Something, and as I mentioned, it's a model context protocol. It's an open standard for how agents discover and use external tools in a very simple language. So we know our why we need the tool. We know our agent, and it is sort of a standard as a Type C cable. It's a standard for agent, how agent is going to discover first and then use the AI tool. I will explain both part, how to discover and then use the external tool later. But it's open. It's open source. You can use it. Anthropic created it. And it's a universal, so same protocol across major AI providers now. And it's a network effect. Every new MCP server makes every MCP agent more valuable. Standard win for network effect, USB, HTTP, email, and now we have the MCP. So MCP, HTTP sort of, we know HTTP standardized the website, USB standardized the device. Now MCP standardizing the AI tools. And MCP is not another agent framework. MCP is a standard. I'm repeating again. It's not a agentic framework. It's a standard in simple language. Now let's see how MCP actually work. In a simple thing, we have this one agent, and we have this one MCP server that I will show in the next episode how to build it. I know. Let's say there is a one server. So our agent will raise a request and ask, okay, what tools do you have? And MCP server reply, okay, here are the all tools that I have, and with their schemas. It will reply that this, and then if I have all the list with the schema, now my agent will say, okay, I want to run this too, and this is the input, run it. Then it will go to MCP, and MCP run it and return the result. It say here's the result. Then I don't need to write, I don't need to add integrate and all. It's on MCP. It's working. I'm just asking. That's how the first phase is. What tools do you have with the discover? And second part is the is the use. So I'm not saying run this or run anything. It's automatic sort of a communication, and that's the protocol. So model never hard code tool name. It discover them at runtime. Very, very basic, simple. Now let's see how can we think as a sort of in code, uh, as we are just trying to understand the basic fundamentals. So let's see how in very simple language it's work. So let's say I ask one MCP client, okay, what is the tools you have? And MCP say, okay, I have this. Uh, this is the list. This is the list, and I got. Okay, just give me a second. So by this sort of a the function or API, this request, we ask, okay, give me the list of tools that you have. So I will ask this one by, and then I will sort of a get of this request in sort of in JSON. We will import it later. Let's say just to understand. I was not trying to run, but let's say import JSON. It will again fail because we don't have anything output. Now we have this. It's asking this sort of a request. What this is the parameter method tool list. And now if I send this request to discover, now my server will reply. And how the server will reply? Sample output I am saying, server will say, okay, here are the tools that I have. And if you look closely, this is looking like my function that I have written in my Python. This one, weather tool definition. It is the same thing. Name is get weather, current weather of the city, and schema required in the city. It's the same. And when we run a real server, we will see the server can have hundreds of tool available. Now I got okay, I got my list. Let's load into a JSON. I got my response. This part I got it. I got this list of tools, sort of we call it a tool catalog. Now, if I say to my like client, okay, my agent, here is the tools. Now use whatever you want. Now my agent say, okay, now I want to use this tool, and agent will say, okay, I want to use this get weather, and then my argument is city, because the city is looking, and my input is the Paris. Now give me the answer. This request will go to now for my client. So how first we will load into our JSON. This will this client, my client or my agent is saying, okay, I want to run your get weather tool. It will ask to MCP, I want to run your get weather tool. Run it. I have the input as a city, input city as a Paris. That's the requirement you are asking. So it's handling automatically what are the argument and all. Now my server got the request, and it will say, okay, I got the request. Here's the request you got. Now here is the output. So after running sort of a function, we will not run it exactly the right person, but after running of it, it says, because we have hard coded it now here, but it will return in similar form, like something similar, and we will load in JSON. We will say, okay, I got my output, and now how we are dealing with it? We are giving this output to my LLM in the conversation that we have discussed in the last episode. We will add this tool output into my conversation, and that's how my agent got the tool access and the tool output. Isn't it amazing? That's pretty sort of a solid concept, and it's a huge win. It's a literally huge win. Why? This is not really about AI. It's about sort of economics. we have sort of, let's think about, we have three companies. Everyone is writing their GitHub wrapper differently. Now with MCP, we have one GitHub MCP server, and every agent uses it. So now, if you think about, it's sort of a removing or totally avoiding or sort of a ignoring or sort of a one filter that is saying, okay, you don't need to duplicate the work. It's industry stop duplicating work. So it's removing the redundancy. That is sort of a way how we are going to build softwares out of it. We are not rebuilding itself every year. Okay. So now we know life is how the life is before MCP and with MCP. Now let's see sort of sort of a thing happened after this thing. So we know HTTP, we standardized website and all this thing, but in episode 6, we have learned about agent tools and loop, and that things works pretty well. Now in this agent, we gave our agent an MCP instead of tools. We gave a sort of a server. We said, okay, you don't need to see the 100 things. We have this one server where that's the tool is running, and there is a loop that is required to make the agent ask the things in a loop. And sort of this is a setting that works everywhere. So everything we have discussed for last couple of minutes, eventually it's a basic concept of the agent, how agent work, interact with MCP. Simple basic concept of MCP, not so jargon, it's a protocol and all this thing. How in practice it works. That's sort of a thing we have seen. But now definitely you are thinking of, okay, I know there is a sort of a server MCP is running it, I'm just integrating it. Where we are going to reveal this thing. So treat this as a sort of a black box now. MCP server is a black box because I just explained how we are going to use it into our flow, so you can understand it on basic concept. Then now in the next episode, we are going to open the box. We are going to build an MCP server from the scratch, and it's literally sort of a couple of lines of code that you are going to very small. So we are stopping here. So in the next episode, we will build our this MCP server, and we'll see how it's going to use in next episode. So if you're following it, here there are not sort of a code in this episode, but we have codes in previous episode and in the upcoming episode. So keep writing the episode keep writing the code and while exploring this video, and keep learning. So see you in the next episode. Bye.